In this video, I'm talking with Dan Wright, the CEO of SaberVox, about what SaberVox is, what they do, and why you might be interested. G'day Dan, how are you?
Thanks, Tim.
So SaberVox has been around for a little while. What are the big chunks of work that you guys do?
So we started as an IT services company, servicing businesses in regional areas. So IT services, anything from I've got a problem on my computer all the way through to installing new servers, making sure computers are backed up into data centres around the country. So any IT services that a business needs to function. So IT services would be our primary focus, but then we do work in data centres as well. So the second part of SaberVox is our data centre component, or what we call the private cloud. So we own infrastructure in data centres here in Newcastle and also in Sydney, where customers can take a small amount of data that they want or as large as they need to run their business. So we subscribe that data out to customers and sell that to them on a monthly subscription.
Okay.
The third component of what we do centres around IT security for businesses. So ensuring that a business's data is secured as best as it can be, it's protected accurately so that hackers and people trying to steal that data from the outside have a real hard time getting to it.
All right, excellent. So I'm hearing IT services, which is making sure your computers work, cloud services, which is making sure your data works, and security, which is making sure no one nicks anything.
That's it.
Have I got, is that a rough summary?
That's pretty good.
All right, good. So I want to ask a little bit, what kinds of companies are you guys typically working with? I know you're working with a regional focus, but are you working with, I want to say, a fish and chip shop at the corner? Are you working with a big company? What sort of companies, what sort of profile would we be looking at here?
So we would normally work with businesses. So somebody whose customers are businesses. And that might be a small accounting firm that might have 3 or 4 people, or it might be a large law firm that might have several hundred people. So a business that generally needs computers to operate, and they might have different locations as well. So a typical business for us would have a location in a regional area, possibly in Newcastle, but they might then also have smaller offices out in different locations as well.
So I know that you also assist companies with sort of, I want to say, technology, strategy and growth. But one thing, when I've been talking to you that's been fascinating to me is some of these security stories. Without naming names, tell me what goes wrong when someone gets, I want to say hacked, or gets one of these ransomware attacks. What unfolds? What does that look like, and how does that sort of unfold in the first couple of hours?
The first few minutes of getting a ransomware attack on your network are the most critical, like any major operation. So what happens in those first few minutes really determines what's going to happen over the next few days, weeks, or in sometimes months for that business. So the very first thing that happens when you know you've been hit by a ransomware attack is that you'll see a pop-up come up on the screen that says something to the effect that your data has been compromised. You need to now pay several $100s worth of Bitcoins to be able to secure your data.
It can't be a good day. That must freak people out completely.
That's generally when people make one of two decisions. They either just back away from the computer and say, it's 3 o'clock on a Friday, I'm going to leave now and come back on Monday and deal with it.
They leave it a couple of days?
That's the worst thing you can do. The second,
it doesn't sound good.
The second thing that people do is generally pick up the phone and they'll call us, and the first thing we'll say is turn that computer off as quick as you can.
So get to the wall, yank out the plug.
As quick as you can.
So it's like every American movie, get an axe and just put it right through the power cable.
If that's what it takes. Probably not the axe, but we just say turn off that computer as quick as you can.
Right.
And then have a look around the office and see if there's other computers that are affected, because ransomware will then affect other computers, maybe the person in the cubicle next to you, maybe the person in the other office, but you just want to find out if it's affecting the other computers as well. And turn them all off as well. Okay. Once you have stability, once you know that no one else is affected, that's when you call your IT service provider and say, we know we have a problem, can you come and help us?
Now I know, just in terms of SaberVox, I know that you guys have some kind of extraordinary recovery time. How long, let's say you get hacked, let's say that all happens, you turn off the machines, give you guys a call. How long could it take for you guys to put people back online if they've subscribed and up and going with everything that you guys offer?
Look, in some cases, we can get a business back up and running within just a few minutes. It really can be fairly quick.
Dead set. So those servers, whatever it is that you've got going on, can recover in minutes and bring you back to where you were.
It really depends on what the customer has that is in our data centre.
What's the worst case that you've ever run into?
In some cases, if the customer does have a lot of data and perhaps it's not backed up as good as it should be.
So they weren't subscribed and they weren't working with you and what have you, yeah. What's the nightmare scenario?
It may be up to a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Dead set, to get everything back. And then do you get everything back or maybe not?
It just depends on how much data the customer has backed up.
All right.
So we like to say, if you have it backed up in one of our data centres and if it's then backed up in multiple locations, we can generally get it back fairly quickly.
All right, well, now that we've freaked everybody out, thanks very much, Dan, for all of that information. If you'd like to get in touch and perhaps sign up with SaberVox, please visit them online at sabervox.com.au. Or, Dan, there's a phone number?
1300 788 515.
Terrific, thanks very much.